If my life is the price for this village, then let it be paid.
But Adanna did not know the truth about her birth.
In my village, there was a girl every man desired. But no man was allowed to marry her. Her name was Adanna, and from the moment she arrived in the world, it seemed as if the gods themselves had touched her. She moved with a grace that made the sunlight pale, and when she laughed, it felt as if even the wind leaned closer to listen. Her beauty was not in a single feature, but in the way she carried herself. Men whispered about her as she walked through the marketplace. Women watched her, some in admiration, some in envy. But no one dared ask for her hand in marriage. Those who had suffered terrible fates. The first man who tried, a young farmer named Obiora, had begged for her hand. On the night before their wedding, he began to scream in the fields, eyes wide with terror. Within days, he was gone, wandering into the forest and never returning. The second man, a trader from a neighboring village, fell ill suddenly the night before his wedding, clutching his chest in agony. By dawn, he was dead. The third, a blacksmith with strong hands and kind eyes, vanished completely one afternoon after insisting he would claim her heart. And so the village learned, Adanna was a treasure no one could touch. Men still admired her, but only for fleeting amusement. Marriage was forbidden, not a rumor, but reality. And it hurt her. She laughed, she helped, she danced, she walked among the people, but the burden of her existence weighed heavily on her heart. Why me? She thought, staring at the moon each night. Why was I chosen for this life? Then, one morning, a stranger arrived at the marketplace. He was a traveler, a trader who had come to buy supplies for his journey. His clothes were simple, his hands calloused from work, his eyes sharp with curiosity. He moved through the crowd, battering with vendors, paying careful attention to the produce, the cloth, the pots, and then he saw her, Adanna. Time seemed to pause. The crowd blurred around him. Her laughter, her movements, the tilt of her head. It struck him with a force he had never known. He stopped mid-step, staring. I want her. I must have her, he thought. I desire her, and nothing else matters. Without hesitation, he approached her, said, "Good morning. May I speak with you?" Adanna turned toward him, slightly surprised, but there was something in his gaze, something genuine, that made her heart skip a beat. From that moment, the world around them seemed smaller. The marketplace, the chatter, the smells, the sun. All faded away. He had come to the village for trade, but he had found something far more precious, and for the first time, Adanna felt a flicker of curiosity, a spark of hope. A stranger had looked at her not as a curse, not as a tool of the gods, but as herself, a girl longing for freedom, for understanding, for something more than sorrow. The next morning, the village woke to the usual rhythm of life. Chickens clucked in the yards, merchants arranged their produce in neat piles. Adanna walked quietly through the marketplace, her mind still lingering on the stranger she had met the day before. Why is he different? She wondered. She paused near the well, dipping her hand into the cool water. Her reflection rippled, and for a moment, she stared at herself. She had seen what happened to the men who tried to marry her. And now, this man had appeared, looking at her not with fear, not with desire for amusement, but with a calm certainty that made her heart pound.
What if he wants to marry me? What if he cannot be stopped, and something terrible happens again?
She had no answers. No one could explain why men fell to madness or death when they reached for her hand. Meanwhile, the stranger moved through the market with careful steps, buying a basket of yams, a handful of cloth, and a small clay pot. Every so often, his eyes flicked to Adanna. Each glance made him feel as though the air had changed, as though he were seeing a light that had never existed before. He approached her again.
Good morning. I did not expect the market to be so lively, but you are unlike anyone I have ever seen.
Adanna felt a flutter she could not name. She lowered her gaze, unsure what to say.
You are a stranger in this village. Why do you look at me this way?
I feel as if I must. From the moment I saw you, I knew you were meant to be part of my life. I do not know why. And I cannot explain it, but I desire your hand. I desire your heart. I wish to marry you.
Do you know what that means? Do you know what happens to men like you? You do not understand. I am not like other girls. There is a curse or a destiny. Men who try to marry me, they do not survive. I cannot explain it fully, but please do not come closer to that danger.
I do not fear it. I only wish to know you, to understand you. If there is a danger, I will face it, but I will not turn away.
Very well, let us walk. But I warn you, do not take me lightly. You must understand. There are things in this village, and in me, that are older than anyone can imagine.
Then teach me. Let me learn, let me see, let me stand by your side, whatever comes.
And so they walked together through the market, past the chatter, past the smell of roasted yam, past the rhythm of life that pulsed through the village. Yet beneath the laughter, beneath the sun, beneath the ordinary clamor, the secrets of Adanna's life stirred, waiting. The pact with the gods, the curse of destiny, the shadow of mortality, it all lingered, like a storm just beyond the horizon. Adanna felt it in her bones. Something was coming. Something she could not escape, and as the stranger's hand brushed hers for the first time, innocent, unknowing, the weight of what was to come pressed against her chest. I hope he survives, she thought. I hope this time it will not end in tragedy. Adanna knelt on the wooden floor of the kitchen, her hands plucking leaves from a bunch of fresh vegetables. Her mind was elsewhere, lost in thoughts she could not shake. Her mother, busy stirring a pot of soup over the fire, glanced at her daughter and frowned.
Adanna, what is wrong with you? You've been on that vegetable for a very long time. Don't you want us to finish cooking before your father comes back?
Adanna looked up, startled, and murmured,
I'm sorry, Mama. It's just that I have a lot on my mind. I'll finish up fast.
What is the problem, my child? Tell me.
A man, a stranger, wants to marry me. I'm scared.
Tell me everything, my child.
A stranger came to the market. He looked at me and said things that scared me, Mama. I'm worried. What if he likes me fully? What if he wants to marry me and something terrible happens again?
Adanna, my child, the world has its rules and some parts are heavier than others. But we will face what comes together. You are not alone.
Yet the knot of worry in her chest did not loosen. She knew her destiny carried danger. She had seen it before. She had felt it. The sun had set by the time she finally helped her mother finish the meal. The village settled into its evening rhythm, the distant calls of merchants closing their stalls, children laughing and running along the dusty paths. Meanwhile, the stranger walked the narrow paths near the marketplace, inspecting his goods, checking the supplies he had bought. It was then that he felt it, an uneasy silence that made the hairs on the back of his neck rise. Footsteps approached from behind, careful but deliberate. He turned slightly, just in time to see three men step from the shadows. Their faces were hidden.
They want to stop me or kill me. Why? They want to stop me or kill me. Why? Stop right there! I must see her again, whatever it takes.
For the first time, he truly understood the danger that clung to Adanna's life. The stories, the warnings, the deaths, they were not tales or rumors. They were real, yet, despite fear pounding in his chest, a fierce determination rose within him. He had come for her, and he would return to her, no matter what it took. And somewhere in the quiet village, Adanna sat by her window, unaware of the danger that had already reached her doorstep. The forest was dark and still, broken only by the rustle of leaves under the stranger's careful steps. He had spent the night hiding.
I received information that the stranger escaped. We have to tell the others.
What are these men up to? I have to find out. I must follow them. No more games.
He thought, tracing the paths of the village elders. Everything about this girl, Adanna. It's more than what anyone says.
The shadows gather. The old ones stir. We must guard the threshold. The veil is thin. What are we going to do now? The time for the sacrifice is almost here. Our sources say the stranger escaped. That's good news for us. That's good. No one must find out that we have been the ones taking the men out.
Again.
She is nearing her 30th year. The ritual approaches. The sacrifices are necessary.
He had pieced together whispers and half-heard conversations.
So the curses have not been from gods? This is wickedness. These old men had been taking every man who tried to marry Adanna. I have to tell her.
He fled the shadows and ran to Adanna. She was sitting quietly by the river, staring at the water as if it held answers. He crouched beside her, breathless.
Adanna, I know the truth. It's the elders. They were behind it all. Every man who tried to marry you, they took them. And worse was more. You were sent here by the gods.
What are you saying?
Your life, your beauty, the way the land flourished, it was because of you. You were given to this village by the gods to make it thrive, but there's a condition. You cannot marry. When you turn 30, you must be returned to them.
Adanna's hands flew to her face. Her knees trembled. The river seemed to ripple violently, reflecting the storm inside her chest. No, that cannot be true. My parents. My life. All of it. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she turned and ran to her home. She pushed open the door, her heart pounding so loudly it felt like the entire village could hear it.
Adanna, what is wrong? Tell me the truth. What truth, my child? Are you not my real parents?
Please calm down, Adanna.
No, tell me now. It's all right, my child. Come on. So it's true. My child, we may not have given birth to you, but we love you more than life itself.
It was many years ago. At that time, our land was dying. The rivers were drying.
The crops would not grow.
The elders gathered in the sacred square. For many nights they prayed. They begged the gods for mercy. They asked for a sign. Then one morning, something unbelievable happened. Under the great Icheng tree, villagers found a baby, wrapped in white cloth, sleeping peacefully. The elders said it was a gift sent by the gods, a child that carried the blessing the village had been begging for. But there was another reason. The elders chose us. Your mother and I had no child. We had prayed for years, cried for years. So the elders placed the baby in our arms, and they said, "Raise her with love, protect her, for she is a child sent by the gods."
So I was never yours. No, my child, you were always ours. We just didn't give birth to you.
Outside, the wind moved quietly through the leaves of the Iken tree.
I will not let them take her, no matter what it may cost.
And for the first time, Adanna knew, truly, the full weight of her destiny, the village that had been her home, the elders who had protected her and deceived her. Nothing would ever be the same. The morning sun barely broke through the thick clouds as Adanna sat on the wooden stool in her hut, her hands trembling. Her mother knelt beside her, holding her shoulders, tears streaming down her face.
Mama, does it have to be this way? Does it really have to be this way? I wish it didn't have to be. It is the way it must be.
The door creaked open, and her father stepped in, his face heavy with sorrow.
Adanna, it is time. My child, it is time. The elders are waiting. You must go. Everything will be all right.
But I'm so scared. I will go for the village.
for everyone. But it breaks my heart, it really does.
Outside, the villagers had gathered in the clearing beneath the ancient tree, the same spot where she had first been brought as a child. The elders formed a solemn circle around the altar. Adanna stepped forward, her tears falling freely.
Please, don't go.
I have to go for my people.
Please, Adanna, for me. For us, I truly want to be with you. Don't let them take you.
Kazeem, I have to go for them. For my people, I was given for this. I cannot turn away. I love you, Kazeem.
The wind seemed to hold its breath. Lanterns swayed. The villagers stared, hearts in their throats. Suddenly, the ground shook, small tremors running through the clearing. The chief priest raised his hands, his voice loud and echoing.
Stop, my child!
What is it, wise one?
The spirits have chosen you, child. Embrace the dance of fate. Something has taken your place. You are carrying life within you. The seed you bear has sought justice and has given itself in your place.
She looked down and saw blood running down her legs, realizing the child she did not even know she carried had already been sacrificed. A silence fell over the clearing. Kazeem's face twisted with a mix of horror and relief. He fell to his knees, taking her hand gently. Adanna. It's over. You're safe, he whispered. The villagers erupted in a mixture of sobs and cheers, embracing each other. Tears of joy and relief flowed freely. Even her parents knelt, overwhelmed by gratitude and sorrow. Adanna stood beneath the ancient tree, her body trembling, her heart heavy with loss but alive with hope. She had endured the impossible, faced her destiny, and survived. She looked at Kazeem, and though her eyes were wet with tears, a faint smile broke through. We can finally be free, she whispered. The elders bowed their heads, understanding that the God's will had been fulfilled in a way no one could have foreseen. Life in the village would continue, prosperous and blooming, and Adanna, gifted, brave, and now a survivor, would walk into her future on her own terms. And the villagers slowly gathered around, their faces full of wonder, relief, and gratitude. Adanna stood beneath the tree, her body still trembling from the night's events. The stone slab was empty now, a silent witness to the miracle that had saved her life. She lifted her gaze and saw Kazeem waiting for her, his eyes bright with unshed tears and unwavering love.
Are you all right?
Yes, I'm alive. Because of everything. Because of everything. Oh, my child.
Clasping each other's hands, overwhelmed with relief. Villagers approached her cautiously at first, then in waves, offering words of gratitude, hugs, and silent prayers of thanks. The chief priest stepped forward, eyes shining with reverence and awe. Adanna. Your courage, your love for your people, and the sacrifice of the seed within you. It has restored balance. The village will flourish, and your life is now your own. Adanna looked around, taking in the faces of the people she had always cared for, realizing that though she had been a gift to the village, she was also their heart, their hope. She turned to Kazeem, squeezing his hand tightly. Let's walk forward. Together, she said softly. Together, they stepped away from the stone slab, leaving behind the shadows of fear and destiny, walking into a future of their choosing. The villagers cheered, the wind rustled through the branches of the ancient tree. And for the first time in her life, Adanna felt freedom, love, and hope all at once. The land, which had always bloomed because of her, seemed to pulse with life, vibrant and unstoppable. And as the sun rose higher, painting the village with light, it was clear, this was not the end, but the beginning of Adanna's story, her story, written with courage, love, and the promise of a future she would face on her own.
Now we'll be together forever.